Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And friends, this week, welcome back, Taylor. How was your trip?
Thank you. It was fantastic. I have no regrets. But I forgot how bloody expensive the pound is. So, I'm broke, but oh well.
You were already broke to begin with. It's fine.
Yep.
Did you get to watch the race when you were over in Europe?
No, it was on at a weird time, and I was doing things. I can't remember what I was doing.
Isn't it on at like 8 o'clock?
I think it started at 6.
So why are you... Okay, this is from me and Steven's experience. Why are we not at a pub watching the race?
I'm trying to remember what I did. I was doing something.
Watching F1 at a British pub is peak content. It's also a fun time. But anyway.
Yes. Well,
It started at 1
most
o'clock.
likely busy.
Was it 1 o'clock local time? Okay.
This
Oh,
is what it says.
really?
1,300 hours BST. So
Oh.
like
I was
prime.
definitely busy. I was very busy.
Well, fine. You get a
Now
pass.
I remember. Now I remember. I was at Buckingham Palace. I was busy.
Anyway, moving on from this fucking bitch. God. Damn
the palace will
tourists.
still be there at 4 o'clock.
You know who will not be there? Daniel Ricciardo.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yee.
A little too soon on that one.
Little bit.
Unconfirmed?
Yeah, unconfirmed. Anyway, but I guess we should, start with the only good race of the weekend, at least in terms of the three things we cover, because we could talk about Indy. That was fun. But yeah, only good race of the weekend in Singapore. And even that's a stretch to call it a good race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Considering Lando Norris actually led a lap from pole.
Yeah.
And
That's actually
then
surprising.
That's what
held
killed the
that
race right
lead.
there.
Yeah. Yep. He held the lead pretty much the entire race. And then just sort of scampered off. It was a 21 second time difference between him and Max.
Yeah, what was the one meme I sent you? It was like, I was okay with the Schumacher domination. I was okay with the Vettel domination. I was okay with the Hamilton. I was okay with the Verstappen. I draw the line at Max.
And I offer you a wholehearted suck it.
I don't know. All I'm saying. I'd call sus. I call sus.
What is sus? What would you call sus?
I don't know. What did they do to their car that makes them so much faster than everybody else?
Well, we know cheating on the rear wing, which,
Yeah,
back
we
to
do know that.
back to our conversation last week, Stephen.
Yep.
We said they weren't going to do anything about it.
And McLaren offered to just say, we won't use the wings again. And they didn't this weekend, and they won by more.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so it's
You
not a
tell me.
wing thing.
I guess
No.
not.
no, the wings. I think I sent this to you, Sean. The wings was literally the scene at the beginning of Incredibles where it's the teacher freaking out about Dash putting the tack on the chair, and the principal is the FIA, and it's like, look, the wing moved, and you just see the wing like shudder just a little bit. It moves right there. The principal's just like, right.
Yeah.
That was the whole wing thing. I feel like that's usually we went over this last week. That's usually the case.
But didn't they say they're like gonna do more tests and stuff like that? There was a whole thing they announced this weekend of how they're going to address it. It was like the day after we recorded.
Yeah.
So they addressed it. The wing thing is not going to be a controversy anymore, which
No
surprise.
No, and again, I think McLaren played it right. We used it once. It's getting questioned. We won't use it. There. You can't complain anymore.
True.
And again, they won by more. The rear wing changed, and therefore it improved Lando's start time.
Ooh, maybe that was it.
Maybe it was.
That's what we'll go with.
Yeah. Well, what was the race to you guys like? How did you feel about it? Because honestly, I was very bored with this race. There was not a whole lot happening. Strategy wasn't there. Tires seemed to last too long. It was just not a good, entertaining race.
The leader just sort of ran away on everybody, lapped a bunch of people. Can we just copy and paste this onto Bristol as well and like be done with it?
Honestly, yeah.
But yeah, no, it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty meh.
It was meh, like very meh.
Your prediction was right though, Steven.
I was right with the two McLarens
on
podium.
Yep.
So they were sandwiched by they sandwiched Max, right? So it was Lando, Max, then Piastri.
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes from like least likable to a likable scale.
Wow.
Have you not seen people turning on Norris?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, 100%.
Well,
I've always said like I would rather Piastri be the guy than Norris.
I don't like Norris. Never have.
Norris is the guy who's been pushed on you by like, I don't want to be like the F1 media and be that conspiracy theory guy. But
media.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always been like Sky hyped up Norris so much, and like same with like F1 TV. Like the British side always hyped up this young Brit, and it's just like, okay.
Well, yeah, there's gonna always be that nationality bias. We've seen it this entire run with Max, right?
But like, and like we see with Norris that he is well media trained. He knows the fun things to say. He can be goofy on camera, yada yada. Mm-hmm. But then when he's not in those scenarios, he just comes across as an ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's always kind of come across as like being very full of himself, and like he was like that before he won anything.
Yep.
So I'm like, great. We're just gonna have his ego multiply tenfold, and he'll just. What I hate is the like typical path towards I am winning, therefore now I deserve to win and I should win, and anything less than that, they become like a sucky baby.
Yes. They're like, this is only Norris's third win of the season, but like,
yeah,
it's funny how people are tired of him winning when it's only his third win, and yet. I don't know. It seems like people are coming back around on Max and be like, you know, Max isn't that bad.
Well, it's I think just how drivers also. I feel like this is just sort of a maturity arc that a lot of these top drivers. I mean, again, let's not forget. Only 3 years ago, we were saying the same things about Max, right?
But if Max earns it, everyone is happy with Max winning.
Yes.
Because honestly. Like, I tried to paint this years ago of him being a good villain of F1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's too likable. Like, he actually is.
Now too many people have swung back the other way.
Yeah.
Well, once you see, like, I feel like the media or, like, social media has, like, very much turned towards that. Like, I think there's a lot more content about, like, Max just being himself, which is naming every cat breed that he can name, because apparently he's a cat man. And
apparently he's playing Minecraft. Did you guys see that?
Nice.
Yeah, he got big into Minecraft apparently, like as everyone does twice a week. Right, Steven?
But like,
yep. I think we're almost due actually now.
Yeah, I think we are. I'm not gonna lie. I was tempted the other day to actually throw in some Minecraft. I'm not gonna lie to let's get the band back together for that 1 week. But yeah, like he's just a likable guy, and you're not seeing a whole lot of this kind of, I would say, restructuring of, I guess, like how people like Norris. It seems to be a lot more Norris is winning, and everyone's kind of going, I don't really like this.
Yeah, but like I feel like I've always seen people not necessarily like Lando. Like, it's kind of always been like that, because I feel like he's just always had that kind of attitude with him, even though, like, some people are diehard Lando Norris fans. Yeah. But, I think like it's the same thing with George, right? Like he has his little fan base, his little group, and then there's a lot of people who are like, George kind of sucks, like personality wise.
And where I
Yeah.
think that comes in is the British smugness factor.
Ah, yes.
That's the one add-on I think you got to add.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for now, everybody will have to put up with it for the last couple races as we watch a
Yeah, there's only 6 to
attempt
go.
from, yeah, and Lando
Wow.
has less than 60 points to try and make up on Max in that time.
And if Lando wins every race for the rest of the year, and Max comes second every race, Lando cannot catch him.
Nope.
Thanks to
Even
Daniel
with-
Ricciardo.
yeah. Yeah.
Woohoo!
They sent him out with a small bang, getting the fastest lap, possibly.
So
Despite
like, what are the rumors? Is this like gonna be? Like, are they saying
Oh.
that he's just gonna be done after this, or
There-
like?
There's some spicy rumors actually out there with the Ricciardo thing. So, like, do we want to talk about that? Is there anything else with the
Yep.
race weekend you want to talk about?
I mean, okay, so if we want to just finish the race stuff, the on-track stuff, Ferrari, you binned it completely. Way to go, good job.
It's valid.
Signs literally, Charles less literally. The Mercedes just sort of fell away, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody else was just sort of there. Perez came back to who we thought he was, finishing 10th.
Oh boy.
Colapinto showed the stones in the opening lap with a
Yep.
massive dive bomb that was
and
honestly a great move,
and pissed off his teammate at the same time.
which I think was actually kind of uncalled for because that was a sick move.
It was, but I kind of get what Albin's saying of like why am I getting a dive bomber from a teammate on lap 1? But I don't know, maybe defend it a little bit.
Yeah, because he has literally nothing to lose.
Yeah, sorry your
Yeah.
teammate. Sorry this teammate is somewhat competent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else just sort of If you point to anybody and said where they finish, I'd say yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
Maybe a slightly better day than normal, maybe a slightly worse day than normal. Stroll finishing 14th. Yeah, okay, he got past a couple guys. Good job.
It's like his average spot, I'm pretty sure, is 14th.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, back to Daniel, because we sort of started talking about this last
Yes,
week
so-
as the rumors came out.
Well, we were talking about this last week, and like, my opinion was, okay, this probably shouldn't be happening, right? Like, it shouldn't happen, but it's Red Bull, so it's the only team that would do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as it's gone on, one, it seems pretty confirmed that he's going to be moving. We probably won't find out for another 2 weeks because we have 3 weeks off until Coda.
Nice long
Wow.
break.
Yep. So
Ugh.
that's fun. So again, we won't hear anything until probably the week before. However, he has taken F1 driver off of his Instagram bio, so that's of note.
Ooh. Oh well,
Ooh.
and they also did like a honor guard after the race for him,
I guess.
and they also
Uh.
and then the already mentioned on track. Yeah, we'll try and give him the fastest lap on the way out.
Yeah. So there's that. There's also it seems like Ricciardo was done and that Lawson's going to fill in the rest of the season. The expansion
What?
on some of the rumors I have seen is that Ricciardo might only miss the American Grand Prix. Really sorry. I guess Coda.
That's rough if they do that.
That's rough because
But-
that's his favorite one.
But he might finish the season with Red Bull.
Oh,
Ooh. Okay,
Oh.
that's
Oh, sorry.
spicy.
So no, he missed 2. He missed USA and Mexico, then finished the season with Red Bull.
so you keep
Because there's the now
Oh.
new theory is after Mexico, Checo gets the boot, and like this is the additional theory of being like, okay, we know Red Bull's not happy with Checo. We know there's a whole lot of things going around with Mexican sponsorship, with the Mexican Grand Prix trying to get attendance. Like you don't want to,
Yep.
they don't want to cancel
Yeah.
him and then basically have everyone not show up. Like, so there is some maybe smoke there, and there is thinking now I saw that if Mexican Grand Prix happens, fine. It's Perez last race, and then we replaced Perez with Ricciardo for the end of the year.
Whoa, okay. That's a very spicy theory. And honestly, it's very Red Bull.
Yeah.
Just so crazy it might work.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, but like I saw him give he gave an interview with somebody, but I saw that he made comments about how he's not going to restart his career at this point, and he didn't want to sign on as a reserve driver for Red Bull. So, I don't know. I would kind of love to see it. Like the spiciness of that, I would kind of love to see it.
Yeah. But the thing that makes me hesitant to think that's what's happening is seeing, like, he was kind of almost crying in post-race interviews, and I feel like
Yeah.
it is the end of him. It's not, like, if that was the plan to bring him back after that, he wouldn't be as emotional post-race. So,
Or maybe he doesn't know. What if he doesn't know yet?
That is also possible. He doesn't know. He just could be thinking, like, oh, this is the end,
Yeah.
but there's great
Yeah.
plans from Red Bull.
Yeah. And then you see, again, with all the rumors that are going around, they give you a small bang to end your career in F1. I'd be reading between the lines.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. It's going to be a long 3 weeks
Yes.
for Danny. And then, I guess, Lawson in for Coda. Interesting choice. If you were going to do it, you should have just done it at summer break.
Yeah.
What was the point in dragging it out to this point? That'd be my only question.
Agreed. Like, why give him the extra 2 races?
I feel like at that point, it's just kind of cruel to not let somebody, like, it's not like he's doing so terribly that he deserves to get the boot, like, with 6 races left in the season. Especially considering that, like, he's always said that Coda is one of his favorite GPs. So,
Well,
I don't know.
The question is, what are you gaining? And I guess really in response, Red Bull would say, well, Liam Lawson gets track time, he gets experience, he gets a head start on next year.
Uh-huh.
Is
Yeah.
6 races worth it for taking what'll be a PR hit, a financial hit? Is that worth it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. You don't know what clauses are in these contracts, so maybe something's been triggered.
True.
And Checo triggered something as well. Who knows? But at that point also, why not just let Danny sit in the car for the rest of the season? Wait till you get past Mexico, and then just put Lawson in the top Red Bull and see what he does.
I don't
He
know,
misses
maybe
2 more.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he misses 2 more races in a season. Who cares? Is 2 more races going to make Liam Lawson a magnificently better driver than he is right now? I don't think so. So, just a thought. But,
Yeah.
anywho,
Yeah.
do we want to also address the...
What else is there?
Well, no, I was going to say, it's not really a rumor, but I think it's more just basically, so there was an incident with Max as well this weekend. And
the F-bombs.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, right. Oh,
Yes.
his campaign against the FIA?
Yes. He used some, I can't remember what the FIA document said. He used some language that was a little more acceptable in his native tongue, but in English it's not as acceptable or some bullshit. And basically he didn't get fined, but he has to do like basically the equivalent of community service.
Oh yeah, right. How did
Something
they word
to
it? Like
something for the betterment of the sport. And I was like, okay, sure. But
what a vague thing to say. but
Yeah,
all right.
I don't care for this
Yes.
at all. Like, I think
Well-
it's
This
ridiculous.
is stupid.
yes, so there's two sort of branches I want to do off this. The first thing is Max has always said he doesn't want a long F1 career. Is this just another thing that is slowly making him be like, fuck this, I'm out?
Probably.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
Like,
I think he's just tired of it.
does this speed up the timeline for him to be out? So, not knowing what his plan is, let's say he's out at the end of this regulation, says, I'm done, I'm leaving after 2026 or after 2025, not going into the new regulations. Does he now just say, you know what, I got 3 championships, I'll go down as a legend, I'm leaving now?
I mean, he is.
Yeah.
No, but could you see a situation where he's like, no, I'm just going to leave now at the end of this year? Fuck it.
Probably
Yeah.
not. No, I don't think he'll leave the end of this year.
I think he would leave at the end of the regulation. Like, I think Steven has a good point. I think he'll finish it out. But I could see him wanting to try something else. Like, he kind of gives that vibe. Like, I think he's been successful in F1, and I think he's communicated that he's satisfied with his career so far. He
Like,
doesn't
he
want
wants
to
them
be
all.
like,
He wants them all, I think.
yeah. So I think he could transition into like WEC or something like that, and I think he very much has his sights set on Le Mans. Honestly, I could see him trying to go for a triple crown at some point. Like, maybe we'll see him in an IndyCar.
I
Who
think
knows?
he's too chicken for that.
I don't think so.
Eh.
Then we could really see who's the better driver, him or wow, I'm blanking on his name.
Kyle Larson.
The other guy.
Well, what
Yes,
I'm thinking
Kyle
is, I want to see a Le Mans super team of Verstappen and
Oh.
Larson
Oh, that would be fun.
and,
That would be
and
fun.
Connor Zilic, obviously.
There you go.
Okay, of course. That would be super fun, though.
It would.
Love that idea.
So it won't
But
happen.
honestly, back to your question, yes, I totally like see a future where he's like so done with it and like so done with the politics of F1. Not only like the politics with the FIA, but I think like the media itself. Like, I think I think he's at a point where he's like tired of the types of questions that he gets.
I will say his
True.
response to it of going into the next press conference and just giving one-word answers and saying, yeah, I'm not going to answer that, followed by him leaving the room and answering more questions outside away from
Yes.
F1 TVs.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
Well, did
was
he give?
fantastic.
I know. He also like full on said, "I would rather you ask me the question outside of the room."
So
Yeah, 'cause
Love it.
It can't be on the official F1 press conferences where he gets in shit for swearing.
yep, out there it's just, well, this is what a reporter put in a report.
Yeah. Oh, someone tweeted this. Okay.
I
So.
do love him taking a stand though. Like, he very much just like doesn't put up with it anymore, and he's like, I'm over it.
Well, he did the same thing with like Drive to Survive, where he's like, "Fuck it, I don't want to do this." Like,
Yeah.
it's not 100% accurate to life and everything. Yes, it's dramatized to an extent, so I just don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally get that. Like, good for I think with Drive to Survive too, like they invent so many storylines for the sake of storyline, right? So
There's so
think-
much actual
it's-
drama to cover,
yeah.
and they don't.
And they just don't. It's like, well, you're missing all this good content.
Alas,
Ah.
here we are.
Yep. Well, so okay, then I'm going to say the second branch of that was, did you guys see what the FIA wants to do with radio messages?
Oh, don't they want
What?
to calm down the swearing in radio messages
They
now?
want to cut out all of the swearing.
Steven.
Not in
Steven,
Yep.
We play sports. We play
Yep.
hockey together. We've played other
Yep.
sports together.
Yep.
Do you ever just find yourself in the heat of the moment and just swear?
All the time.
All the fucking time.
Usually it's some derogatory term at myself. But yes.
And for me, it's a use some derogatory term at you.
Yes. That is accurate.
But like, this is sports, and this happens in every single sport, whether it's hockey, football, basketball. Like, they're swearing all the time. Here's a better idea. Don't broadcast the messages.
No, but I think that's what they're sort of doing, is they're just not going to do anything or not broadcast any of that. And it's like, well, good luck doing any sort of radio chatter in between the team.
Don't. Teams used to do that on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, for anyone that doesn't know, the F1, when they first started like broadcasting radio messages, these were like, anyone could hear them. And this is the first time that any team could actually hear what other teams were doing. So teams, to be secret, would just like start swearing a lot in their messages so that they would never get broadcast. So no one knew what they were doing. And honestly, fine. Let's go back to that. If you don't want to swear or don't want to put in messages because of swearing, fine. No messages for you.
Yeah.
Yep, because a majority of the messages that I could put out now include someone swearing because something has happened.
Yeah.
Also,
it's just a natural part of sport.
But also, for the guys that don't even speak English, it's a natural part of learning language. One of the first things you learn is swear words.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
there's no way that you could abide by that. Like, if they were like, just try and calm down the swearing.
Honestly,
there's no way.
We should play a game and just watch a race. If there's a radio message with swearing, one person drinks. Radio message without swearing, the other person drinks. And we'll see who's dead by the end of it.
That'd be a great idea, and we'll probably forget about it by the time the next race comes around because there's a fucking 3-week break.
Drink.
Facts.
Perfect.
There.
Good job.
Done. All right. I think I'm done talking about F1 for now.
Okay. What else do we have on the docket?
We go from one boring night race to another boring night race where, again, to just copy and paste our recap, the leader just was able to run around everybody, lap a good chunk of the field. The tires lasted much longer than teams expected.
Fucking told you.
Yep. And Kyle Larson comes out a winner. I guess the only difference here is there's some excitement with the fact that this was the end of round 1 of the NASCAR playoffs, and we have eliminations to go over.
Oh, right.
And again, I think
I keep forgetting that the playoffs are a
thing. We called that one too, Steven, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty close. I think I had Ty Gibbs in. You might have nailed your exits.
Yeah. I think I did. Yeah, I think I had both Kozlowski and Gibbs out.
Yeah.
And obviously...
And we had the other two out.
Yeah.
Truex and Burton.
Yeah, no surprise. But yeah, like, it was a fucking terrible race. It was an awful, one of the worst Bristol races after how perfect spring Bristol was, to go back there and to then be like, wow, really?
Last year, we went back to last year's fall Bristol.
Yeah, which was just
fantastic. Tires
lasted too long. And did you see fucking, I think there was like a Goodyear rep was like, oh, we were also just as shocked the tires lasted this long.
Yeah.
I love it when the tire guys are like, the actual tire company's like, oh, what a surprise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know how great that sounds on a PR thing of, wow, look how long our tires lasted versus, wow, our tires do not last long. Like, of course, I said this last week. Of course the tires are going to last longer. No company wants to go out and says our tires do not last. Like, there is no surprise that this happened.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because it creates a better entertainment thing for the fans, which is how you're making money. But you're also making money off of your commercial sales to the regular consumer, which you are constantly advertising to. So,
yes,
the fun yin and yang of it. And
it's
I think in the end, the end consumer is going to win out a majority of the time. But yeah, it's never great when one guy can lead 462 of 500 laps and lock himself in the next round of playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what Kyle Larson did.
Like I don't have a whole lot to basically say on this race.
No, like I mean, we guessed right that Denny Hamlin would do well. It was, I think, his 8th or 9th top 5 finish at Bristol.
Yeah.
Shocker. So he locked himself in. It was a little touch and go with Daniel Suarez for a bit. Keselowski never really got up there. Burton, we said, was out regardless. And then the Gibbs cars of Gibbs and Truex both picked up speeding penalties that essentially ruined you. It'll ruin any driver's night when you can't make any sort of passes on track and you can't fight. If you're gonna get dinged and go right to the back, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So that'll knock them out, and then we're now resetting and going to Kansas. Yeah, that's basically it, right?
Yeah. Again, Bristol's not a good race when you can't pass.
Yeah.
So, also, we've also totally missed the biggest story of the week, which we can go to after.
Okay. Well, so we can, I guess, to wrap up this, where are we putting the blame on shitty short track racing this year, and I guess last year with the next gen car? Is that mostly on NASCAR and their design, or is it more on Goodyear? Or no, what? I won't even take it to all the short tracks. We'll just say Bristol with the 2 fall races that we've had. Is it the Goodyear tires, or is it the design of the next gen car, or somewhere in between?
Neither.
Neither?
Neither.
What
It's the horsepower package.
Okay.
If you give the cars more fucking power, then you can get unstable off a corner. You can make mistakes. The issue with Bristol and why these races suck is everyone's running the same time. Like, Bristol was great back in the fall or back in the spring because with the tire fallout, you had some guys on different speeds at different times. Mm-hmm. If you give them more power, there's more chances for little bobbles, little mistakes, because some guys will burn out their tires faster. You may have to lift a little bit sooner or lift a little bit later. Your cars may get more unstable as the run goes on. Like, there's so many other variables come into effect, and you get guys that can pass. Bristol sucks when you can't pass.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. Nope. That's.
We were watching the Xfinity race on Steven Saturday. Like, we were here watching it, and we watched the same thing for 50 laps. It was fucking Dale Jr. Who was he racing? Was it, what was it?
I was going to say Sheldon Creed, but he's not in the 2 car anymore.
No.
I can't remember who it was.
Anyway, it was that whole battle. Was Allgaier in there too, I think, maybe?
Yeah.
It was that battle, and it was 50 laps of just like, no one's passing anyone. They are matching exact same speed for speed. One guy goes low, one guy goes high. They're just, and you come back out in the exact same spot, and no speed is changing.
Yep.
And when you're running a whole race like that, and that's just like a microcosm for the entire Bristol package right now. It's just nothing is changing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was sort of hoping you'd pick one because I was sort of going to lay the blame at the feet of both. Because you have both NASCAR and Goodyear just sort of sitting there like, I don't know what we did. We made a good product in the spring and now it sucks. How? I don't know. Like if you go back to the Bristol Spring Race, I'm pretty sure our review was NASCAR fell ass backwards into a good race.
Yes.
At Bristol.
100%. They
had a good test where they could get the same results. Problem is they're basically just like somehow this is like Sean doing math. He uses a magic math machine to figure out the problem. He can't tell you the steps to get to the answer, but he got the answer somehow. I don't know how he got it, but he got the answer.
There was one time in accounting class, okay?
Yeah. Yes, and that's why your accounting grade fell in the second half of the year because afterwards you didn't know what you were doing.
Listen, that what year was that? Grade 10?
Yes.
Yeah. What was my problem that year, Steven?
Concussions?
Yeah. Notice the concussions.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Ugh.
Yes.
So you
Point
know what?
is,
Fuck off.
point is, process is part of how you get a good result. And if you don't understand your process, you're not going to be able to replicate a good result.
That's fair.
NASCAR and Goodyear. So,
Yeah, NASCAR might be a bit of a problem. I don't know if you saw also, I think it was FedEx is also reeling back sponsorship of NASCAR. There was another sponsor I thought I saw recently that was also stepping back its partnership, and like NASCAR's like hemorrhaging partners, it seems. I think it was Geico was like done at the end of the year or something like that.
Wow, those are big names in NASCAR
Yeah.
sponsorship. So.
They've been there for 20 years plus.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Anyway,
but a charter system is supposed to help you get sponsorship, Sean. What the hell?
is this the segue?
Sure.
Oh,
I don't know.
boy. Oh no.
Yes, here it is, the charter.
Yes, the Indycar charter system. Very good. Great
I'm
musical
so
rendition.
grumpy about that. So stupid.
Yes, IndyCar has introduced a charter system. The teams have, for some reason, ratified it. We have, 25 charters as of right now?
Like, here's the dumb thing with the charter system. Okay, 25 charters, guaranteed spots for all races for the 25 cars, not including the 500. Okay.
They at least got that part right. If they brought it to the
Yeah.
500, that would have been a piss.
500 is the fastest 33. Fine.
Yeah, fine.
But also there's a thing in there where they're actually going to start limiting the field up to 25 cars.
Don't love that.
Nope.
Don't like that at all.
Nope. Also, the winner circle payouts for the end of the year. Only top 22 cars.
So that hasn't changed at all then.
Nope.
Okay. Makes sense.
I don't understand this. Every team gets not every team has different charters. Some guys have 3, some guys have 2.
Yes, it depends on the last 2 years how many full-time entries you were running.
Okay, honestly,
I believe
that's the bullshit answer of how we're going to make this. But realistically, it's like, okay, you get 3, you get 3, you get 3 because you're big teams. All you kind of little backmarker guys, okay, you're going to get 2, you'll get 2, you get 2. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Prima's coming into the sport without any, apparently.
Yes, and
What?
if I'm them, I'm pissed.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So
But that deal was done before they've introduced the system. So how is that fair? What the heck?
I also wonder, if you're going to get a system where, someone like Dale Coyne sells a charter to Prima. Prima runs one car, and say Dale Coyne both run one car under a charter, one car under not.
Yep, I could see that being the case. Or they have some sort of agreement where because Primo's going to run 2 full-time cars this season, maybe they're going to say, well, we're going to up it to 27 and give Prima the last 2 charters.
I don't know if they're doing that. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. I could see that being we'll release this later on sort of thing, but if I'm Prima and I don't have that sort of reassurance in place, fuck it, I'm out. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah. Right after they sign Callum Ilott.
Take him somewhere else.
This is the thing that's pissing me off with Penske. This is your legacy in IndyCar, and you're trying to attach yourself to basically a Titanic. You saw what happened to the Titanic, and you're like, you know what? I want to fucking do that. You see what's happening to NASCAR. You see how the product has changed and how the viewers are going away and how everything's going down. And what's next? Guaranteed green flag finishes?
Stages.
Stages all of a sudden.
Oh
and then
playoffs.
You look at the most, I don't know if it's the most successful, but the fastest growing NASCAR product is IMSA.
Yeah.
What did IMSA do? We're going to invite a whole bunch of manufacturers to fucking build new chassis, build new engines, and get a whole bunch of fucking people flooding into the series.
Yeah.
And oh my God, IMSA has exploded in the last couple of years. And I think on their trajectory, especially with the new TV deal coming in with NBC, Thank you, IndyCar, for giving them that one. They're on such a good trajectory. And IndyCar could have been like, hey, maybe we could do something like that instead. Instead, no. They see a 2024 problem, and they come at it with 2008 solutions.
Yeah.
They do not look forward. They are looking at the past. Roger Penske and Mark Miles honestly should be fucking hung for how terribly they have run this series.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is this is a decision being made by the team owners, and if you look at how the charter system has worked out for owners in NASCAR, it's a great fucking deal.
Great money.
Oh yeah.
How much are charters going for? 40 million? They were originally valued at 1 million however many years ago. Fuck yeah, I'll take that money. You got two teams that are pissed off, but everybody else signed the latest deal for NASCAR. Yeah, okay, that's fine. There's two small teams too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you outside
if
of
I'm
like
pissing off Dale Coyne and Ed Carpenter, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of like, I don't know, 15. Oh, no, we'll round it up and say 20 people. Outside of 20 people, I think the response has been extremely negative to this.
Yeah. Like, again, it helps the team owners, helps them make money.
Yep.
Make sure they can guarantee they're getting their cars in, but you already were fucking guaranteeing that before.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you're not going to be able to get new smaller teams in like a Prima.
Yep.
So Prima's going to be the interesting one to watch. I don't know what they're going to do unless they have some sort of backdoor reassurance policy in place. Because how big was the field this year? 26 cars, technically full time?
I think it was 27.
27. So again, that's part of why I'm like, I feel like Prima's got to have some sort of side deal here where they're like, yeah, we're getting two charters because we agreed to come into this series at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So
I find it fucking ironic as hell that Chip Ganassi signed this.
yeah.
But not really, because he made so much bank on his NASCAR charter, selling to the track house.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And, he's going to be out of the series in probably 10 years. When's the charter expired? When do they have to renegotiate that? Runs through 2031. Okay.
Good timing.
7 years. Realistically, it's 6.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. My question is, by the end of this charter, do we have a new car? Do we have a new engine do we have a new engine formula?
No.
Do we?
I can understand the charter system of being like, for the teams of being like, okay, fine, we'll sign this. We'll become charter. Let's move this series forward. We have this guarantee. We need guarantees from you.
Yeah.
And I hope that is something that comes along. And like, honestly, it's not fucking hard to develop a new car.
Nope.
Considering where the current IndyCar is, yeah.
DW12 was developed in like a year and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Like, you have a very good safety cell to start with. DW12 safety cell and the halo and everything around it, fantastic. You can start around that. But build something new.
Yeah.
Just because you keep throwing new fucking heels on a pig, even though it's not, lipstick on a pig, but heels, because, new wings this year, or, like, how many iterations have we had of the DW12?
You keep trying to dress up a pig a different way.
Yeah.
And there's only so many ways you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We put it on, we put a dress on it, we put all 4 heels on, lipstick, wig. Can't do much else.
Now it just looks like Steven.
Hey.
Hey-o. But yeah, I'm sad at the charter.
Yeah.
I didn't want this to happen. I want to see IndyCar go back to more, again, I don't want to say more traditional, but like things that get people excited. IndyCar has stopped getting people excited. NASCAR has stopped getting people excited. If your sport no longer gets people excited, you have a problem.
It's gonna die. Yeah, it's not headed in a good direction.
No. F1's big rise over the last few years got people excited. Sports car racing with the hypercar formula has gotten people excited.
Yeah.
Formula E, the first couple years, got people excited. Then it died.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. Like, I don't know the people that get paid millions and millions of dollars to sit around and do fuck all for a sport. But, like, people should be fired. They really should.
But they won't.
Anyway, we are here. We're in the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to who's going to fill some of these charter seats for 2025, because we've had a lot of driver announcements. And I think Taylor already mentioned one, because one thing we did not cover last week was Callum Islet signed with the new Prima team. Good choice there, buddy.
Yay!
Way to tie yourself to that one. But
Yeah.
Islet's in Prima.
It's a good team choice.
Yep.
I think for Islet, it's a good place to go. But
It makes a lot
It
of
is.
sense. It's gotta suck seeing the charter deal shake out.
Yeah.
But you didn't know. So what were you gonna do?
yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Felix Rosenquist and Marcus Armstrong are driving with Meyer Shank next year. So Armstrong, without, I guess, a seat at Ganassi, moves over. But they've got a technical alliance, right? So I guess that deal also makes sense, because now Chip has a seat that he can give to someone else on the main team, whether it's a Linus Lundqvist or they bring back Kiffin Simpson to help pay the bills, whichever it is. And then the latest signings, which came out today, were that Renus VK was out at ECR for 2025. That came out Monday. Rossi and Rasmussen confirmed for 2025, both full-time, which was surprising, because that means Ed is only going to do Indianapolis.
Well, he doesn't have a charter for himself.
Oh,
Yep. That's all it took to get Ed to give up doing ovals.
wow.
Which actually kind of makes sense if you look at the timeline of when he stepped away and said, okay, Rasmussen finished the season in the car. Probably negotiations for the charters were coming around. He's like, okay, I'll just do my thing next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't hate that Ed Carpenter team.
No.
I think Rossi is saying, fuck it, I want another 500.
Yeah.
Because we know how good Ed Carpenter is around there. But yeah, now that just leaves 6 seats open for next year. Sorry, 7 seats for next year.
Yes, so you got 2 at Ray Hall, 2 at Dale Coyne, 2 at Unicos. Yep. Well, they put a rule in for that, right?
Oh, yeah, what's that rule?
3 drivers to a single car. So
That's pretty expensive.
Yep. Good luck shuffling it around this year, Dale.
Okay, but then here's a question. How do you get kids up from Indy Lights?
Sounds like a them problem.
But like you've just killed your own feeder series with the system.
Yep.
Because you can't get a kid in for a half season or something, or like a little less. Like, who's going to take a chance on bringing in some fucking rookie who's just won, like, I don't know, $1 million? Okay, cool kid. Can you bring sponsorship? Can you bring anything else? No. I don't want you. Go from some other team.
So it's slowly turning into the F1 formula, which was hilarious. Looking at the comment sections for all the charter announcements, having all the European and F1 fans being like, "Can someone explain this to me?" It's like, "Oh yeah, it's basically your Concord agreement." You know how they're gatekeeping other teams out of other teams from expanding to 22 cars or 24 cars? Yeah, it's basically that.
Well, on top of that, what you're going to see is only guys, like the only people that can make the jump from Indy Lights up in IndyCar are the guys with money. Oh, you didn't enjoy watching Kiffin Simpson this year? Well, guess fucking what? He's coming again next year, and he's gonna bring some buddies the next couple of years. It's gonna be a fucking rich kid playground because that's the only people that can make the jump.
Yep. Or it's got to be like the bluest of blue chip prospects that are coming up, and even that might be a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you get an Alex Palou that comes through the Road to Indy series,
Yeah.
sort of thing. That's the only
But
other way.
even Pelot still needed a couple chances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Who did Alex Pelot start with?
didn't he start with like Prima in F3?
No, I'm in IndyCar.
Oh, in
He didn't go
IndyCar.
right to Ganassi.
No.
Didn't he do a part-time season to start?
Where is he?
Yeah, he
He
started with
was-
fucking Dale Coyne, and he didn't even do a full year. I think.
Oh.
14 races that year. Finished 16th.
Oh, that was COVID year. It makes
One-
sense.
Yeah, one podium.
That won't happen again.
Nope. Nope. But so, where were we? 2 seats with Juncos and 1 seat with Prima, to go with the other 4 seats at Ray Hall and Dale Coyne. Who is going to fill those seats?
I don't know. Apparently, fucking Bottas is looking for one.
Logan Sargent has he's got a test. coming
Sargent
up.
has a test. Yep.
Chadwick
Yep.
was doing a test, and that was
Oh,
one we
right,
talked
yeah.
about a couple weeks ago. If Andretti does a technical alliance somewhere and puts her in at a team,
So, like, is this what's going to happen now? You're going to have a bunch of these technical alliances? Like, fine, Dale Coyne can't run a bunch of drivers. He runs 3. You put a development person in with Andretti. Like, say, Chadwick gets a couple of races there, plus someone who's won Road Indy get into there. Like, is this what you have to do? So you're only really having 5 teams at the top, and you have 5 A teams and 5 B teams?
it's slowly becoming F1.
Like, this is fucking stupid. Did no one actually think these things through?
No, they just looked at the dollar signs.
Yep.
Cool. Dollar signs are great. When you're fucking dead, you can't take it with you. Who gives a shit? Look at the history of this sport, of history of IndyCar. It is over 100 years of history. Does the fucking dollar value of it matter? When Roger's fucking in the ground and some other fucking family takes over running the speedway, does it matter? When Cindric is actually the guy who owns the speedway, it doesn't matter to the fucking dollar amount. But when you've killed your sport to the point where you have Indy A, Indy B, new people can't come in the sport unless they have lots of money. I mean, lots more money, because you obviously need money to be in motorsports. You see NASCAR hemorrhaging sponsors and hemorrhaging partners that they've had forever because the product's not good and the charter system is not viable. Like, I don't see any road here that is good.
Yep.
Am I taking crazy pills?
No.
No.
No, but I did just find your answer for next year. If Andretti gets a technical partnership, it'll be one car is split by Louis Foster and Jamie Chadwick.
Okay, so let's say that fills one car. Okay. Like, there's still so many good guys out there who are looking for seats.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know where a lot of these good drivers are going to probably end up?
IMSA.
Huh.
IMSA.
Funny how that's going to
Or
fucking
WEC.
happen.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I cannot stand stupidity. Because you've also just locked out a whole bunch of potential drivers into your sport.
Yeah.
Drivers that could have fun followings, that could have, social media accounts, that can then bring more sponsors in. Like, Jesus Christ. Also, I guess Grosjean's out next year, eh?
He's yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back.
Which is dumb because it's Grosjean and he brings sponsors, so.
Yeah. It's also dumb. Yeah, apparently just bought a Costco membership. Did you guys see that on Instagram?
Oh, he's getting that poor? He can ask to go to Costco now? I'm assuming for
He was
F1
like-
guys, that's like being basically poor.
Yeah.
Probably, but it was very funny because he was like posting selfies with him and his wife. He's like, first adventure at Costco, and I'm like, oh man.
I wonder how long it took him to check out and when he plans to go again.
Exactly. Exactly. So basically, safe to say, Grosjean needs to stay so that he can, keep those Costco trips going.
Or he goes to IMSA.
Oh. Yes.
and then potentially kills
Yeah.
us next year in Turn 8.
There you go. That's looking on the bright side.
Okay, hopefully not. But hasn't he
potentially.
already been doing? He's already been doing some stuff with IMSA or WEC with Lamborghini, right? Is it Lamborghini?
Maybe. I don't recall.
He is part of a program. He was at the most recent IMSA, I think.
Indianapolis was this weekend.
I can't remember.
Apparently that was a
But
really good race.
I did.
I had Ray Hall getting
Yeah.
Ray Hall and BMW got their first 1-2 in the GTP.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it took for them to be raided by the FBI. What? They got raided by the FBI, and then they won the next
Oh,
week.
right.
Yeah, which was hilarious as fuck. I didn't even talk about that last week.
No, because we were going to talk about it this week, then so much other stuff happened. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Well, you know what? We can end with that, with Ray Hall getting raided on, what was it, last Tuesday or Wednesday?
That's fair.
Yeah. What was it for?
Well, so the FBI put out there's no imminent danger, so therefore this is probably just some sort of bullshit white collar crime.
Okay.
And
Fraud
it's
or something.
probably stealing some sort of design. I was reading a little bit like
Oh.
someone moved from I think it was Andretti to Ray Hall's team, and that's maybe what's getting investigated, is if they brought some tech design over.
Some intellectual property.
Yep.
Okay.
So, which,
That
considering
makes
it's a spec series, you can probably nail it down pretty quickly if they did steal something.
Yeah.
So,
Yay. That's so
I
lame.
don't know.
I was hoping for there to be like some drug smuggling operation going on there or something.
Just want to see if there's
Okay,
any
well-
developments.
Actually, the raid was because so Ray Hall's team. Who's Ray Hall's team in IMSA? It's BMW. So BMW is part of Volkswagen, right?
Yes.
It was actually because they failed the
No.
emissions tests also. I think BMW is part of Volkswagen. 90% sure.
No, isn't Audi Volkswagen?
I think they all are.
Audi is Volkswagen.
And this
That
took-
BMW is its own thing.
It's a great question. Maybe it is. Huh. Fine. Maybe I was wrong. I was trying to make a, Volkswagen emissions test joke, but that just didn't go anywhere.
Nope.
Well, that's what I
Okay.
get for not knowing shit, so that's on
Yep.
me.
And I think that's also a sign we should probably end it.
Fine. And on that note, thank you for listening to this week's episode. We'll be back next week. And next week will be our IndyCar season breakdown, where we will not have an aneurysm over a fucking charter system. Anyway, sorry, before I get over that. Yeah, so give us a like, give us a follow, share us around, and yes, we'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.